Welcome, everyone, to Meetings and Miles. I'm Pamela, and this is my co host, Mark. Mark, how are you today?
I am stellar, Pamela. It is a bright and sunny Monday afternoon here. What a great day, and absolutely thrilled that you're still talking to me after our spicy episode on bleisure,
I know it's incredible to believe it, but yes, we're still on talking terms.
which is remarkable. But we have a little bit of a tamer topic today here. We're talking a little more about some of the logistics of travel, packing and airports and a few other things. So, because we've had some feedback, people are asking us about packing strategies. So, let's start with that. Pamela, let's start with suitcases. What's your
Yeah,
preference in terms of luggage?
and I think it's so funny. We can always debate these things, Mark. These are my favorite topics, and I love all the perspectives. So for luggage, okay, so my favorite, and I've been quite heavy on this, is going carry on whenever possible. And I've had the same carry on for a number of years now, and it's from a company called Away, and it's hard shelled. It always fits those measuring containers if airlines are starting to get a little, looking and making sure that your luggage fits the requirements. It always fits that, even though I hold my breath every single time. And I feel the hard shell, as though it's less flexible, definitely keeps all of my items safe and guarded and packed away nicely.
Awesome. I will agree with you there on the hard shell and on the carry on only. I know for a lot of my overseas trips, I've got too much stuff with me. Either the trip is too long or I'm bringing in a lot of extra gear that carry on only isn't possible. I actually prefer the design of the soft sided luggage because there's usually some extra pockets in front for a few things. The hard shell, whole clamshell style is one size fits all, but they are so much more durable, so much less inclined to get broken or torn that I have gone with the hard shell style.
Yes, and also to another point is the hard shell does always fit in the overhead as well too, if it can fit in that container, which that is also, I haven't been in that position personally, but I've seen the people with the soft shell a little bit expanding because they have all this additional clothing or items in there that they have to sort of trek against the salmon, against the flow of the water to get back off the airplane and check their bag, which is just something that's nice to avoid.
It is both a blessing and a curse, is that you can usually get a little more into that soft shell bag, but if you've overdone it, it causes havoc with everything and all the logistics involved.
Yeah, for sure. And I do have to mention too that there are a lot of suitcases now that are having the extra compartments, even hard shell, that if you need some additional flexibility. I have more recently my latest backpack that I use, and that's even a debate in itself. But I do like a backpack for travel. It can still have a fashionable, professional look to it. I use a Mono's one, and they also have a great suitcase line as well. My partner has a carry-on from them, and my if I need a check bag, I have a suitcase with them as well. But yeah, I just find that it's easier for packing everything, for keeping organized when you have to run through cities to meetings to trade shows to all over the place. I am pro backpack.
Yeah, I am also 100% team backpack. It makes so much sense. I have a regular briefcase for going in and out of the office for day to day use, which doesn't come with me on the road, but having a good backpack is of the utmost importance for a number of reasons. One is just comfort, right? Putting it over both your
Mhm.
shoulders, two strapping it, as the kids would say, and being able to walk around. Your hands are free. It's also better for your neck and your shoulders to be wearing a backpack across two shoulders as opposed to some sort of a body sling bag that's over one shoulder or across your neck. So backpack is good. And I've had a lot of backpacks over the years trying to find that perfect one. The one I've got right now, I really quite like because it is a little bit larger. It can be converted into a regular type of briefcase with a shoulder strap. You can tuck away the back straps. It's also got a few key things that I'm always looking for. It's that easy access compartment so I can get my laptop in or other things that I need to access quickly. Say if you're going through airport security, that's an important thing, is thinking about exactly how you're going to use these things. But a good backpack is incredibly important.
Yes, and I really agree with you on those having those additional features when you're having to navigate different situations while you're traveling. I again with the monos, it's got this compartment that clips on the outside and it actually still looks like a very streamlined look when it's clipped in, but you can just pop it off and be able to have that as your little piece at your seat at airports or in airplanes or whatnot. So you're not like sort of scrambling to pull like your earphones or everything out. It's all nicely contained. I absolutely love it. I'm obsessed.
That's super cool. I don't know this brand. I'll have to check them out. And if they're interested in sponsoring this podcast, we're open to it.
They're a good Canadian brand based out of Vancouver and lots of lovely sustainability practices. So, yeah, absolutely check them out.
Cool.
Monos.
So then, when you are actually going into packing, do you have any types of strategies that you like to employ?
Yes, I am pretty streamlined with my work trip packing now, especially if it's a carry-on lighter pack. I do start with my professional business clothes. I'll even start sort of segmenting them aside a few days before and just to start getting prepped and getting certain clothes lined up. And yeah, so there's sort of that, the professional clothes, and then kind of the casual clothes that are still versatile. Some casual clothes can still work as part of a suit and vice versa. Try to make it a capsule wardrobe as much as possible, along with color matching. And then looking at the workout clothes, of course, and then shoes is its own topic, and then toiletries. But yeah, that's kind of the order I go in.
I'm similar in that approach. Is I always start with my business clothes. So what do I need for my meetings and events, and start getting those things ready. I look at how many days I'm gone for, because sometimes if I'm gone for 2 or 3 weeks, I might need to do have some laundry done in the middle. So I'll try to figure out in advance which is going to be my laundry day
Yes.
and where I can get that done. So pack enough to get me over to laundry day. So looking at too, when I used to wear more suits on the road, I might bring a couple of suits that you can potentially mix and match depending on where you're at in the audience, especially if you happen to be seeing the same people every day.
Mm.
Quite often, though, I'm seeing different people every day, so it doesn't actually matter because they've only seen me wearing the suit once, which is good. But I mean,
Mhm.
when you're going to hot climates, making sure you have enough shirts, because if you're sweating a lot, you want to have a nice clean shirt all the time.
Yes, that's an absolutely pro tip. And just even thinking about the fabric choices, looking for ones that are wrinkle resistant, merino wool. I think it's like such a great fabric that is good, that's the sustains for the long term. But it is a good point. You have to sort of be flexible that you wear things more than once when your work trip. It's okay. The world keeps turning. You can still look polished and put together.
Completely. And I'm guilty of probably overpacking, usually overpacking and underwearing, which I'm not underwear, but under not wearing enough.
I heard it.
You got it. It's I'll pack way more stuff than I might actually need. I'm like a goldfish in that regard. I'm just, if there's room in my suitcase, I'm putting stuff in there. But then thinking, oh, like I've got to rewear this shirt or these pants because I don't know what's going to happen down the road. And then by the time I
Mm.
get home, I've still got a couple shirts that I never wore at all on my trip.
Yes. There often is your go-tos, right? And especially if you have a long day, you like leave the hotel first thing in the morning, you don't get back till night. There's a couple pieces that will work best to transition through all pieces of the day. But when I think about it, I mean, this is just my guess, but when I've talked about fellow travelers and especially a little bit more with women, I think a big barrier to doing carry on only is the liquid side.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
Yeah, I know like you have maybe a different liquid experience, but there's often with different makeup and different skincare and whatnot to be able to have everything fit in the TSA bag, or like it's the same one that we use in Canada as well too, but there's a limitation on liquids. My best advice is decanting is your friend, that you can really buy some really great little sizes of trial sizes and of different products, but as well as putting your full size products into smaller containers. You can absolutely fit most of it or all of it, I should say. But there's a couple of sacrifices that you need to make with all of this. Maybe your skincare is intense and you just make a smaller version of it for the work trip. I don't know how this is going to be received, but I use the shampoo and conditioner in hotel rooms.
Me too.
It seems to work. And I mean, honestly, my hair is going to react to different climates anyways. And so if down isn't working for me, I just always have the ponytail option. But it honestly, it's just for a couple days. You can definitely get by on a lot of hotel amenities. And yeah, there is a way to really have all your liquids packed. You just have to get creative.
And to our listeners, Pamela has luxurious hair, so I think maybe she's on to something with using the hotel shampoos and conditioners. For
You're too
me,
kind.
no, I'm trying to make up for offending you last time. No.
You never offend me.
For me, liquids is usually my duty free, is about the extent of my liquids, but I definitely travel pretty light when it comes to toiletries. I've never had a problem using the hotel soaps and shampoos. Take a small toothpaste, a little travel sized deodorant, and that's about it. It's being me, Pamela, is pretty simple. It's not all that complicated.
Yeah, for sure, but I can call you out on something
Oh,
because let's talk about shoes. How is the shoe packing experience for you?
shoe packing sucks. So I have really big feet. And so if I'm taking just carry on and I need an extra pair of shoes, that's pretty much all my carry on is my shoes. But how I make do, I can make do in a few different ways. Number one is use the real estate inside your shoes. So if you can get your socks and underwear packed inside your shoes, do that. Use whatever space is available to you. I have at times had an extra pair of sneakers, which I have just tied to my backpack. So they're kind of hanging out, and that's never been an issue. But shoes are definitely a problem. More often than not, I'm wearing my sneakers on the flight as long as I don't have meetings right away. I've packed my work shoes, and maybe I'll have a pair of sandals or something else with me. But yeah, I need to keep my shoes to the absolute minimum. How do you find the shoe situation?
I often hear this as a barrier as well for carry on. And my way around it has been really embracing the fashion sneaker era that is
Ooh.
upon us. Oh, it's the best. But I mean, before that, my earlier days, I would wear the heels and it just wasn't sustainable for the work trips. I got into the block heel, which is like really effective and still fashionable and professional looking. But now that we're in the era of the fashion sneaker, that is my number one way to go. I mean, it depends on your industry and where you're working, but I think it is broadly acceptable now, which I am thrilled. And maybe my feet they're pretty average size, I would say, but smaller than yours, I guess, that I'm able to, maybe not hard to do, but I always sort of smush in some workout shoes as well into my carry-on. I'm able to really sandwich them in there just because hitting the treadmill or potentially going for a run just need a different sneaker profile. But that's how I get away with it.
And continuing on the theme of clothes, there's also the clothes you wear on the flight. Now, I
Mm.
have, if you ever watched the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon had his bus pants. I've got my bus pants, which are the clothes that I always wear on airplanes, on long haul flights. It's a short haul, something domestic. I don't worry about it. But if I'm going overseas, I've got my, yes, my old man cargo pants that I like to wear everywhere. I've got a button-up shirt with roll-up sleeves because sometimes planes are hot and sometimes
Mm.
they're a little too cold, so I can prepare. I'll often have a light sweater with me because in case the plane is cold or I want an extra blanket or something. But I have a very consistent uniform for flying on airplanes.
Oh, those sound like bulletproof pants.
Oh, they
I
are.
can visualize them. And I mean, it sort of is something that I like to be mindful of is comfort and still maintaining a bit of professional look. And I mean, long haul, when you're sleeping in the plane and whatnot, you definitely need to take that into consideration. Although one time when I was in business class for Virgin Australia, I was given pajamas and that was the best experience ever. But often you're wearing your whole clothes throughout, so you want to be mindful of that. But on short haul flights, just having that professional look, and especially we live in the same city and we can often run into different professional associates that you want to have a decently polished look. So I often go monochromatic, where all black is often a decently put together look and still have that comfort, but just a little bit of a polish to it as well.
And all black is a really good pro tip because number one, it goes with anything. And number two is if you get a little stain on it, you can hide that gravy a little bit better than brights or colors.
Quit telling everyone my secrets.
But there's
But
also a deliberate reason why I wear a button-up shirt on an airplane.
Okay.
Do you know what
Tell
that
me more.
is?
No, tell me
If you
more.
do get upgraded to business class, which I hope you do, and
Mm.
they give you that cloth napkin, if you ever noticed, the cloth napkin has a little hole in the corner.
No, I have
And
not noticed
you've
this.
not noticed the little and the point of that is so you can button it on your shirt,
Stop
so
it.
to keep from making a mess. Someone early on in my career, someone got me an upgrade with him, and he explained that to me. So ever since then, I've always worn a button-up shirt on an airplane. In the off chance I get upgraded, so I can button up the napkin onto my shirt.
Wow. I am definitely gonna have to check that out next time in business class. I had never heard of that. Incredible.
Yeah, it's like one of those videos you see online about did you know that what these things were actually for?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
No.
little hole in the corner of the napkin, and that is quite deliberate.
Wow. I was today's years old when I learned that. Thinking about too, when we're starting to get ready for the travel component, having certain pieces on hand with you while you're traveling and for the extent of your trip. I like to think of you got your tech with you, your headphones, and I'm earbuds, but whatever camp is more comfortable for you. I also love to bring eye covers and just even earplugs as well if I'm in the situation, either in the airplane itself or as well within the hotel. I love to have those kind of pieces with me.
Yeah, not so much for me. Definitely, I do like my noise canceling headphones, which are just the absolute best because it just drowns out all the sound. Plus, I've got the extra cord where I can plug it into the airplane's audiovisual system so I can listen to or watch whatever shows or movies I want to watch. I don't really sleep very well as it is in hotels or on planes. So, I mean, maybe I should start, but I've never tried with sleep masks or earplugs or anything like that.
Oh, I don't go anywhere without them. We talked about digital before, but you have your phone chargers, your power converters. What else do you bring?
That's about it. There's chargers, converters. I usually have a tablet with me along with my phone, and often I'll have
Mm.
some. aspirin or something of that nature.
Mini
And
pharmacy. Yeah.
my mini pharmacy, nothing too extensive, but you've definitely got, oh, cough drops. That's a big one. In
Oh,
case you
that
get a
is
bit of a
good.
cold, you need something of that nature. And I've lost all those things over the years at airports and hotels. Well,
They
so
go to a happy place
I
somewhere.
really hope they do, because there's got to be some large pile of chargers somewhere.
I've absolutely left mine, many behind in a hotel room. And I guess the one other thing that comes to mind too with travel is when we have additional brochures. Sometimes there's those moments that you still need to bring paper, although I am loving that we're going more paperless. And then there's trade show booths, so that adds some additional fun to the business trips.
Yeah, and that's why a big reason why I've often not been able to go just check luggage only, because I'm carrying so much extra gear, whether it's a banner or brochures or flyers or whatever. It doesn't take long to fill up all your suitcase. And sometimes you can ship those things in advance, but you're never quite sure is it going to get there on time. So you still need to have some stuff with you as a just in case. And when I am checking luggage, something else I often do is I will keep some clean clothes in my backpack with me, just on
Mm.
the off chance that my luggage doesn't get there. And quite frankly, in all my years of traveling, I can probably count on one hand the number of times my luggage didn't get there with me. So I don't know if I've just been fortunate or it's just gotten so much better over the years.
Kind of same for me. It's maybe been delayed, but I've gotten it pretty quick. One time my suitcase was pretty destroyed, but I still had my stuff. But also, I think it's just general ease at the end of the day is if you can help it and just have a smaller suitcase, trying to navigate a larger check-on bag through trains and planes and automobiles. I think that's also, but yeah, you want your stuff with you for sure if you can help it.
Complete, and it's always such a relief when you get somewhere, you've cleared customs, and you've got your bag in hand. It's like,
Yeah.
you can just
It's
suddenly decompress that everything worked out, and if all goes well, you make it to your hotel okay.
Yes, and then it's just getting to your destination. Like, on the way home, it's less stress. If it doesn't show up, fine, I'll be okay because 'cause I'm at home and I can figure things out. But, yeah, that's the probably the a real high of the trip is when your check-in bag arrives with for you.
No kidding. And some airports these days, it's such a long walk through the airport. I've been to places where the bags are already all unloaded and on the belt by the time you even get to the belt.
Yeah, that is pretty dreamy. You get to stretch your legs, and
Yeah.
then you get to see your bag, and then you get to go where you're going. It's pretty
Yeah, I've
dreamy.
noticed Dubai and Delhi are two
Mm.
airports which were incredibly efficient.
Oh, that's really cool.
So, Pamela, when you are actually packing, do you tell me your techniques? Do you fold? Do you roll? Do you use packing cubes? What's the secret to being Pamela?
I do have a method to my madness, and I do like to organize things in a certain way. I use packing cubes and I do not roll, which feels a little bit controversial because I think a lot of the top sites will say the gurus out there, if you will, is to roll everything. But I have found I have this particular packing cube that really keeps everything contained and wrinkle free and compresses it at the same time. So that's really my go to for the most of my clothes. And then I have some packing cubes for the underwear and socks. And then I have the toiletries. And then I have a shoe bag. I'm able to stop there. What does your suitcase look like?
I am also Team Packing Cube. I think I discovered those about 10 years ago, and they've really changed things because everybody has a different strategy and none of them are wrong. Some people are one cube per day, some people are like a
Mm,
cube per outfit. Similar to you, I have one for my shirts, one for my pants, one
mm,
for other things. And so my shirts I fold because I've just got a way that I fold them that seems to work. And if they're nicely in a packing cube, they don't get a lot of wrinkles. My pants and things, I'll probably roll those more in my
Mm,
pants cube, but it is so much easier when you're going through your stuff, and especially if you're moving around to a lot of different hotels, it keeps things really neat and organized and
mhm.
really quite efficient. So big fan of the packing cubes, highly recommend. You can get them
Oh,
on Amazon or wherever. They're not expensive.
and that is a good way to segregate all the things that are between clean and less clean. That's absolutely a pro tip.
I've got clean and not dirty enough and dirty.
Yeah, those are the three, the
Those are the
top
categories.
three. Can I wear this again? No, it has to be burned, but I'll bring it home anyways. But I also just find having that system, I can tell if I'm missing anything in my bag. I can immediately see, okay, I don't have my toiletry bag in there. I have one thing that I pack that I probably shouldn't pack, and I don't always pack it, but I have a particular hair dryer that I like and that I often bring on trips. And sometimes I don't because there is hair dryers always in the hotel. This is probably my one thing that I could do better on, but it's just works so well for my hair. It does all the things. I'll just say that. But that's one thing that I'll know if it's missing or not because it's a very special place in my suitcase, but sometimes it just doesn't get to make the trip.
And this is the advantage where bald is better, I think, because I could be all disheveled, sleeping on an airplane or whatever, and this is how I'm going to look. It doesn't change. You got one version of Mark, and it's not like the hair's messy Mark. No, this is the one you're
And
going to
what a
see.
fabulous version it is, Mark.
Well,
We
thank
all
you so
love it.
much. So, what did we learn today, Pamela?
I could just talk about packing all day. And honestly, it just does come up a lot, especially when we bring up the carry on only. I know this has been an interest to people. And really, it depends on the trip and it depends on the length of time and it depends where you're going and what you have to do. But I think that's what we really recapped at the end of the day is customizing what you're going to bring for where you're going, the ability to do lighter pack versus sometimes you need to do a heavier pack. Looking at capsule wardrobes and being able to maximize what you bring, looking at making them wrinkle free is a great choice. And just looking at your tech and the extra amenities that are going to make you comfortable and productive while you travel.
That is a phenomenal recap. And I'll add to that, always wear a button up shirt in case you get a cloth napkin, and packing cubes are your friend.
Is that our tip of the day, or do you have another one? Because that
No,
one's
I
still blowing my mind.
is it really? No, I do have another tip of the day, which is related to our topic. It is, if you are going to check a bag, even if you aren't, take a picture of your suitcase before you go. And that's for a couple of reasons. If it does happen to get lost, then you got something that you can show the lost and found person as you're describing it. So that is beneficial. And maybe it'll serve as a reminder to you of what suitcase you brought. I have been caught in the situation where I've stood there waiting and waiting and waiting, looking for my suitcase. It's not coming because I brought a different suitcase and my eye was looking for one that I never even brought. But meanwhile, the one I actually brought was probably first off the airplane, and I stood there for an hour waiting for the wrong bag. So take a photo of your suitcase.
I think that exception that really works if you forget which suitcase you brought, because now at least with like additional trackers, like hopefully, you can find it. But I mean, even still for them to see it in a lineup, it is good to have that photo.
Well, another great episode. Pamela, where can the good folks at home find us?
Yes, I agree. And yes, please visit us on our Meetings and Miles LinkedIn page, or you can check out our personal accounts, Pamela Wilton and Mark Peters.
Have a great rest of the day.
You too. Safe travels.
Bye.